Hello and welcome to Chess with Simon. I'm Simon. So I'm playing all these guys at Cumnor in correspondence. Joseph has taken up the challenge, as we say in the chess world. So I think we played a lot in lockdown. I think he was originally at a different club, but look, he's really good. Anyway, we played a few games. I think there we go. Played 15 games, as it might be. So I don't know if I played C4 against him before, but there's always a first time, right? This, okay, am I going to take this or not? Here's the thing, in the old days, I always used to take this. And taking is the most common move, but the stats are better for not. So, should we just not? Let's have a look at the main line. Queen b3. I mean, Queen d7 looks alright. Bishop e2, we're surviving, right? Takes then, takes. Knight d4. We're surviving. It's scary, but it's going to be interesting because this is not what I normally play, and it's going to take me and Ian into new territory. It's always good to go into new territory, right? It's fascinating. Fascinating and beautiful. And for the first time, Ian has not programmed the move. Bishop e2 here I'm going to play. h3 gets better stats. I don't care. Bishop e2 is the move. It's the most common move. It's the classical move. We're going to play bishop e2. Bishop b2, we're going to develop, we're going to castle here. This was really interesting, this a3 move. So, well, it's a really uncommon position. It says it's kind of drawing. I mean, the sample size is small. Well, takes away the b4 square from the knight. Maybe heading for some kind of, queen c2. Sort of reversed pulse and reversed Schwenningen kind of concept, depending on what they do with the d pawn. Kind of reverse Schwenningen. Okay, 98, that's a bit novel. Alright, well, it's just one game, though. It's a tiny sample. So, what do? You could play d5 here. Could you? And play a sort of Maroczy bind. Do they ever play d5? Oh. Okay, well, I'm not quite ready to strike. I mean, d5. Why not? Isn't d5 just a good move? Okay. We're going to be a bit conservative and play bishop e7 for now, which I think is, we're going to consider d5, but we'll get castle first. And then to get the king safe. I'm a bit worried about what happens when white plays d4. At some point, either straight away or after a couple of moves. So I don't want to open the center. I don't think it's really risky, frankly, but let's play bishop e7 and castle. I don't think I want to put the bishop on the h8 a1 diagonal. I think this is fine. This is an interesting move, not what I expected. Not a bad move, but I think sort of a little, it feels a little bit like mixing up systems. I mean, bishop b7 will be really natural here, and that's the statistical one, but it's not. I mean, e5's never a bad move when you can play e5. But it's a bit like this, isn't it? After c4, e5, knight c3, you wouldn't play b6. I mean, you might, but I'm not sure I would. So it wants to play knight f3, and why not? I mean, you know, there's no pawn e4. It's a good move. Oh, I love it when they play the pre-programmed moves. That's a good move. Okay. Against Keith, we're going to play bishop e2. Classical Sicilian. Against Nick, we promised to play e5 to block out that bishop. I'm going to keep our promises. So I've got a backward pawn on the d file, right? But it's very hard to access. So we're going to be fine. Oh, all these people. They know what they're doing. They know what I'm doing. They've seen it all before. Against Nigel, I've seen it all before because Liam played this, so I'm going to play the same thing. Bishop d7 to allow me to take back on c6 with the bishop, if required. This one, Mark, will you play bishop g2, don't you, for now? There's no e4. There's no panic. The bishop's always going to g2. Well, it's the only move that's played, really. Play d3, but there's no reason to play d3 now, particularly, I don't think, because you can't play e4. Okay. Now this one, you got to move the queen. I mean, because the pawn's attacking the queen, and there are no checks except for queen g3, which is a bad move. So we're moving the queen. And the only square we can move it to, well, not the only square, but it obviously goes to e7 to defend the e5 pawn. Because that knight on c6 is not defending because it's pinned. This was all the plan. We were always planning to go to e7. We're now defending the e5 pawn. It's pretty... Okay, well, I don't respond to pre-programmed move, but we're taking that because it's check. You know, we're not putting the bishop in the way. We're not putting the queen in the way. We're not moving the king. We're taking it. Okay, I think the next move is bishop g4, but we're not just going to do move after move. But I think the next move is bishop g4. I mean, let's just look at the Explorer. Well, it says f6. Well, well, well. Maybe we'll consider f6. Maybe we'll think about that. With Gareth, you either castle or play c5 here, right? And they're basically interchangeable. But actually, it says there's quite a big difference. Oh. Okay, we're going to castle. I like to be castled. The king will be safe. I think if you play c5, white does have other options, notably queen a4 or bishop b5. And we're just going to stop those. But I think c5 is big in our plans after this. It's beautiful the way white's shaping up with this classical attack. But black's got his trumps. Liam has castled. Do I play bishop g7? It would be hard to imagine much else. And, you know, the players in history have found it hard to imagine much else. Bishop g7, controlling the beautiful d4 square. Next question, what do I do with the king's knight? You're probably playing things like e6 and knight e7. And then we're waiting for f5 from white. And, well, you know, queen e1, f5, queen h4, all that good stuff. This, we're back now. Is that it? So what are we waiting for? That was pre-moved, that was pre-moved, that was pre-moved. Ian was not pre-moved for the first time. I astonished Ian. Not astonished, but slightly surprised Ian. Okay, these are all fun. So there are none of these games where I'm worried. Well, I'm worried all the time, you know, to be on the black side of lots of these very attacking positions with very attacking players. But there are none where I'm yet in trouble. We're still in the opening, right? And there are none where I think, you know, I've got an advantage. I mean, so it's all to play for. It's all interesting. I hope you're enjoying this. I'm enjoying this, and I'll see you all soon.